The Middle East is once again on edge as one of the most dangerous escalations in recent history unfolds in real time. What began as a targeted assassination has rapidly spiraled into a full-scale exchange of missile fire, with civilians caught in the middle and the geopolitical balance of the region hanging by a thread. In the early hours of the morning, skies over central Israel lit up with streaks of fire. Air raid sirens pierced the silence, warning millions to take cover as incoming missiles approached at high speed. Within moments, explosions rocked multiple cities, sending shockwaves through residential neighborhoods and igniting fires that would burn for hours. This latest barrage was launched by Iran in what it described as a direct response to the killing of one of its most powerful figures, Ali Larijani. A central figure in Iran's security structure, Larijani was killed in an Israeli airstrike in mid-March 2026 alongside other senior officials, marking a major escalation in the ongoing war. His death, confirmed by Iranian authorities, marked a turning point in the conflict, triggering immediate retaliation from Tehran. Iran wasted little time in responding. According to official statements, the strikes were part of a broader campaign of retaliation. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps made its intentions clear. IRIC said the attack exacted revenge for the blood of martyr Dr. Ali Larijani and his companions. The missiles launched were not ordinary weapons. Military analysts identified them as advanced ballistic systems, including the Karamshar 4 and Qadr variants, long-range missiles capable of carrying heavy payloads across vast distances. What made this strike particularly alarming was the reported use of cluster-style warheads. These warheads are designed to split apart mid-air, releasing multiple smaller submunitions over a wide area. Instead of a single impact point, they create a blanket of explosions, increasing the likelihood of widespread damage and making interception significantly more difficult for missile defense systems. Witnesses in and around Tel Aviv described a terrifying sight as missiles appeared to fragment in the sky before raining down explosive bomblets across urban areas. He said the explosion was so powerful that it lifted everything into the air. Moments later, multiple blasts were heard across neighborhoods, followed by plumes of smoke rising into the sky. Emergency services rushed to the scene, battling fires and searching through damaged buildings. In Ramat Gan, just outside Tel Aviv, tragedy struck when a missile carrying cluster munitions hit a residential structure. 2 elderly civilians, a man and a woman in their 70s, were killed. Officials later confirmed that they had been only meters away from a protected shelter but did not reach it in time. At least 4 others were injured in the same attack, though most sustained minor wounds. Elsewhere, debris from intercepted missiles and falling submunitions caused additional damage. Vehicles were set ablaze and buildings suffered structural impacts as fragments rained down across urban areas. In one city, shrapnel from a missile strike ignited a fire that engulfed a car parked in a residential zone. Flames quickly spread, prompting a large-scale emergency response. Residents described scenes of panic and confusion as sirens continued to sound and explosions echoed through the night. At the same time, southern Israel also came under attack. Sirens blared in multiple locations as incoming threats were detected. Military officials reported that some of the missiles were successfully intercepted, preventing further casualties. Still, the psychological impact was undeniable. The sense of vulnerability was heightened by the nature of the weapons used. Cluster-capable missiles are not only destructive but also unpredictable, as submunitions can land over a wide radius, sometimes failing to detonate immediately and posing long-term risks. For Israel's defense systems, which rely on intercepting incoming threats, such weapons present a complex challenge. Analysts say this marks a significant shift in tactics. Rather than relying solely on precision strikes, Iran appears to be employing weapons designed to maximize area damage and overwhelm defensive capabilities. The Karamshar missile in particular has drawn attention. First tested years earlier and progressively upgraded, it is believed to be derived from foreign missile technology and modified to enhance both its range and payload capacity. Estimates suggest it can travel up to 2,000 kilometers or more, placing much of the Middle East within reach. It is capable of carrying a payload of up to 1,800 kilograms and can be fitted with multiple warhead configurations, including submunitions. Despite some claims, experts emphasize that these are not independently targetable nuclear warheads, but rather conventional cluster-style payloads designed for maximum area impact. Still, their use in densely populated areas raises serious humanitarian concerns. This escalation comes against the backdrop of a much larger and rapidly intensifying conflict. Weeks earlier, coordinated strikes by Israel and its allies targeted key Iranian military and leadership sites. These operations, part of a broader campaign aimed to weaken Iran's command structure and strategic capabilities. Among those killed was Ali Larijani, whose death followed a series of high-profile assassinations that have significantly weakened Iran's leadership hierarchy. The response from Tehran has been swift and forceful. Missile and drone attacks have been launched not only against Israel, but also across the broader region. According to reports, Iran has targeted multiple sites as part of a coordinated retaliation effort, signaling its willingness to escalate further. But with each exchange, the risk of a wider regional war grows. The humanitarian toll is already mounting. Since the conflict intensified, casualties have been reported on multiple fronts in Israel. Civilians have been killed and injured in missile strikes. In Iran and neighboring areas, airstrikes and retaliatory attacks have caused widespread destruction and loss of life. Global powers are watching closely. Calls for de-escalation have come from multiple governments, but so far neither side appears willing to step back. Instead, the conflict is entering a new and more dangerous phase. Military experts warn that the use of more advanced missile systems and unconventional payloads could further destabilize the situation. The potential for miscalculation is high, particularly as more actors become involved. There are also concerns about critical infrastructure. Energy routes, particularly those connected to the Strait of Hormuz, remain under threat. Any disruption could have significant consequences for global oil markets and economic stability. Meanwhile, civilians continue to bear the brunt of the violence. In cities across Israel, families are once again taking shelter, unsure of when the next siren will sound. In Iran, communities are dealing with the aftermath of airstrikes and the uncertainty of what comes next. The psychological toll is immense. For many, the conflict no longer feels distant or abstract. It is immediate, personal, and deeply unsettling. As one eyewitness described the aftermath of the strikes, he said when he stepped outside, he saw nearby areas completely engulfed in flames, calling it a terrifying experience. Such accounts highlight the human cost behind the headlines. Beyond the military strategies and geopolitical calculations lies a stark reality: lives disrupted, homes destroyed, and communities forever changed. The question now is not just how this conflict began, but where it will go next. With both sides demonstrating a willingness to escalate, the path forward remains uncertain. Diplomatic efforts are ongoing, but progress has been limited. The stakes could not be higher. A prolonged conflict risks drawing in additional regional and global powers, potentially transforming an already volatile situation into a full-scale international crisis. For now, the world watches as events continue to unfold. Each new strike, each new retaliation adds another layer of complexity to an already intricate and dangerous situation. And as the cycle of violence continues, one thing becomes increasingly clear: this is no longer a contained confrontation. It is a conflict with far-reaching consequences, one that could reshape the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East and beyond. The tension is no longer simmering, it is erupting.